Stubborn dogs should be allowed to tell their guardians no. Here's why, coming up. What's up guys, it's Jenna with Dog Liaison, where I coach you on how to enhance your dog's mental health. On this channel, we break down scientific research in order to inform us on how to train dogs. I can tell you, as a professional dog trainer who works exclusively with dogs facing anxiety-related disorders, one of the #1 reasons a dog may start to experience anxiety is because they do not have the power to say no. And I know what you're thinking, is this lady crazy? Why would I let my dog tell me no? If I let her tell me no, that's all she's ever gonna do. I'm gonna ask her to do something and she's just gonna be like, no, I don't want to, like a little teenager. I know that's what you're thinking. All I ask is that you hear me out on this. First and foremost, often we label stubborn dogs without actually examining what their breed tells them to be. Now, we know our bully family is the key, epitome of stubborn, but that is what they are designed to do. They are designed to just be bulky and firm and stand their ground and not sway by being easily influenced by food or easily influenced by excitement or easily influenced by friendliness. They're literally designed to stand their ground and protect their space, protect their people without being distracted easily. So it makes sense that you're having such a hard time getting your puppy to do or your dog get to do what you want if you have a bully breed. That's exactly what they're designed to do. But even still, a lot of times we have our stubborn dogs who perhaps are not bully breeds, and we're wondering, why are they not listening to us? Why do they just want to do whatever they want? Well, my friends, you might have what we call a nature dog, and our nature dogs are built to be independent. These nature dogs are built to be out in the world for hours and hours, sometimes days and days, out in the world without people. So they are built to be able to think for themselves, to have their own opinions, to make their own decisions, to live their best lives without you. And so it's important that we're taking into account what the breed component tells this individual to do. Is the breed component telling them to tell you no, to be stubborn, to be firm, to have their own opinions, to have their own ideas? That's #1. And now the thing is, a lot of times I hear trainers tell guardians that they can't have their dog tell them no. And when I hear a trainer say that, or when I hear even a guardian say, I don't want my dog to tell me no, this for me is more reflective of the individual saying that, more reflective of how they show up in the world than it is of what their dog needs and doesn't need. And this is what I mean. If I hear a trainer say, you can't let a dog tell you no, that's just absolutely unreasonable, they are just built to be your servants, this tells me that this trainer has a hard time hearing the word no, or any behavioral variation of it. This tells me that this trainer, for some reason, doesn't like hearing objection and rejection. And that is more a reflection of that individual than it is of what their dog is experiencing. Because healthy individuals can accept rejection, can hear no, and not get defensive, not get angry, not get worried that something is bad, and keep pushing and persist and say, no, you will do what I tell you. Healthy individuals can hear no, or a behavioral representation of no, and ask, okay, thank you for this piece of information. Why do you feel that way? Why do you feel no? Why are you rejecting this? Can I ask more questions to get clarity? That is a healthy dialogue. And when you're building a relationship with your dog, whether it's an adult, a puppy, or it's a senior dog that you've had for 18 years, you are in a constant dialogue with your dog. You are in a relationship that has mutual communication. It goes back and forth. You're communicating with your dog is communicating with you. And I don't know any interaction, any relationship with any individual that works if one person can't tell the other no, if one individual can't tell the other individual no. That is not a healthy, functioning relationship. We have to be okay with our dog saying, I don't like this. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, but Jenna, if I let my dog tell me no, won't she always tell me no? Isn't that all we'll ever hear? Well, my friends, it depends. I do find that in the early stages of first giving your dog the ability to say no, that they do use it more frequently. And that is especially true for the dogs that haven't been able to say no to you in the past, or it's especially true with our cognitively immature dogs. So those puppies that are not quite adults, but they're like, 9 months, 10 months, 11 months in their first year of life, in those not quite cognitively mature individuals, they might be more inclined to use their no. That's true. But if you are fostering a healthy relationship with your dog, if you are giving them opportunities to say yes to things as well, then what will happen is they'll become more mindful and intentional with where they say no and when they say, I don't want that, I don't like doing that, I don't want to do that. They'll become very deliberate with it. And this is when you know you've hit a healthy dialogue with your dog. When they are mindful about, you say ask them sit, or you ask them to give you some sort of behavior and they tell you no, they're so mindful that it happens so rarely that when it does occur, it gives you pause and you think to yourself, why did you tell me no? What happened here? What do you see that you're telling me no right now? And the example that I use for this, I heard an example from a fellow trainer once, and then ironically 2-3 years later, this exact same thing happened to my dog and me. And in the case with the trainer, she was asking her dog to do a sit, asking her dog to give a sit for something, it doesn't really matter what, and her dog didn't do it, and she thought, why not? Why are you telling me you can't sit? She took her dog to the vet, and her dog had limp tail, and if she had sat, that dog would have been in a lot of pain. I heard this story and I was like, wow, it really impacted me. And then interestingly enough, several years later, that happened with me and my dog, where I was about to give my dog food, and I asked my dog to sit and put his bowl down in the little box, the little container, and he didn't do it. And I did ask again because I thought maybe he didn't hear me, like what's going on here? I asked it again and he didn't do it. So I ended up giving him the bowl regardless, and then I went back and thought, that's weird. Why is he all of a sudden not sitting? And as we started to go on in his life, as we started to work through some other obstacles, we ended up establishing that he does have arthritis in his back legs. And on that particular day, and even to this day when he doesn't sit, he's telling me his back legs are really sore and sitting will be hard. Just to get back up to go have to eat again, for him that would be really laborious, and he didn't want to have to do that. When you have a dialogue with your dog and they know how to use their no effectively, they do it very intentionally, and they give you really healthy information about how they're feeling and about what is happening in their world. And so the reason why it's okay for a dog to tell you no is because that they become empowered with that no, and they use it very mindfully. We must be giving our dogs agency, and agency is the big fancy term for giving our dogs empowerment over their bodies and over their decisions and about what they do in the world. We must be instilling in them that ability to make decisions for themselves so that they are a whole individual. Your dog is an autonomous being, and in the same way that he can say yes to things, he can say no to things. It's important that he understands how to use both of those words, both of those behavioral representations of those words, and that he's using them mindfully in order to give you information. If you enjoyed this video, do me a huge favor and hit like, consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you get notified when I drop a new video. Check these next videos out next, and I'll see you guys next week.